Good morning, everyone. Hi. Oh my goodness, it's Wednesday. Um, yes. So, hi. It's always so funny seeing if the thing starts. But anyway, we're started. We're on. So today we're going to work with making some granola, which will be really healthy and fun. And these Facebook Lives are always, I have a lot of couple hundred recipes on my YouTube channel, 15-minute healthy meals that I make and that I have on my YouTube. And the Facebook Live is all about just sharing recipes of different things that I do. Because we started this, hey Kathy, good morning. We started this in March when the, excuse me, when everything shut down. And so, so it's been really fun to just share recipes in the morning, and everyone gets together, and it's so much fun. So, so I need to make granola, so we're going to do that. Just taking oats. These are actually, however many you want, quite a few, I guess. Depends how much granola you want to make, and I think I'll make quite a bit. These are, well, they're steel ground, obviously, but these are like fresh pressed oats, and these came from Wayne Smith at Vancouver Island Grain and Milling. He's here in Port Alberni, Wayne Smith. But I buy it in like 25-pound bag. So so if you want healthy habits, carries it in smaller amounts, and it's just fabulous because you can really tell it's like the fresh oat groat, the actual oat seed, so to speak. The oat groat is just flattened out, and so the flavor is just unbelievable because it's so crazy fresh. And he harvests it. I'm not really sure what you would call that, but anyway, he harvests it, if that's what you do with oats. I have no idea. So, but he does it every year, right? So it's not something that's been on the shelf for a couple of years. It's maybe 2 seasons old, or 2 years old, or 3 years old, or more. Who knows, right? When you buy your oats. So so it's just so fabulous that we have that resource here in Port Alberni where we can get fresh oats from this summer, and yeah, or last summer at the most. So anyways, okay, so the oats, they're fresh pressed oats. I'm gonna make more because my husband really likes granola. So okay, so ideally your oats, in a perfect world, everything is better raw. But when you're doing raw oats, you always have to soak them to make them more digestible, because they can, for some people that have digestive issues, they can be a little bit harder to digest. But they either raw or cooked are really good for you. They have the beta glucans. I can never say that word. Anyways, it's the part of the fiber that really helps. Obviously, it's full of fiber and helps with cholesterol and all kinds of great nutrition, vitamins, and minerals in your oats. So we're just going to add some stuff to this, like super easy recipe, but I thought I would share it with you and encourage you to make your own. If you're buying it from the store, and I do often, but it's always got that extra sugar and the extra, you don't know what. And even if you buy a really healthy brand, like I tend towards things like Nature's Path and, oh gosh, I can't remember the other super healthy, whatever they are. Anyways, the calories seem to be very high in those store-bought ones. And so, so you're going to lessen your calories when you're doing it yourself. Plus it's fresher. Everything's fresh. These are really super fresh. Sunflower seeds, raw, of course. Pumpkin seeds, raw, of course. Pumpkin seeds full of zinc and super good for the prostate. And so we're going to put lots of those in there. And yeah, the pumpkin seeds, super good for you. And so I'm going to add hemp hearts as well. And the hemp hearts are another really great source of protein. So both of those, the sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, obviously have a lot of protein. Your hemp hearts have the omega-3s. The other nuts do too as well, but the hemp hearts especially have so many omega-3s and, you know, awesome source of protein as well. So the other thing I'm going to add is some coconut. So we have some coconut flakes. Hey, Minute, good morning. Hi, everybody. Jane, Darlene, I think are on. Everybody's here. So we're going to add some coconut to it too, little coconut flakes. And again, this is so nice because you can, you know, the ingredients are super fresh. What I'm going to do is, what am I going to do first? I'm going to do nuts and I'm going to do dates, and I'm just wondering what to muck up the cutting board with first. Probably the nuts first. So I do have some nice walnuts here. Again, raw walnuts. And if you do have issues with, you know, having a hard time digesting nuts, you can soak them as well to enhance and improve the digestibility so that it's not so hard on your stomach to digest. And so you can do that, not in this case though. I mean, generally, hey, there's Jane, good morning. You know, you're not going to soak your nuts when you're putting them into this granola, but if you're eating nuts and you have digestive issues, it really does help to soak them. And in other applications or other recipes or just to snack on. You know, like if you were making the oatmeal and it's hot and, you know, you're cooking it, then of course it would be really better for you if your nuts are soaked. Okay, we're going to add some pecans as well here. And again, raw pecans. You can add anything you want. You can add almonds. So easy, you know, and actually when you buy your oats like this, when you buy them raw and fresh from either Healthy Habits, if you're getting a smaller amount, or a big, you know, like a 25-pound bag will go a long way all winter. And with this winter, the way it is, oatmeal will be really good for everybody. So, so you can get a hold of Wayne at Vancouver Island Grain and Milling. And it's very inexpensive to get organic fresh oats like that and have, you know, you're sure to have a good breakfast every morning. You can eat them anytime. So there's quite a few nuts. Let's see, maybe I won't quite use all those, or I'll just add more oats. Okay, let's just add more oats. I have lots, obviously. So yeah, so we definitely want more oats than we do nuts. It all depends though. Some granolas are super nutty and have lots of nuts in them. Okay, so there's our put them here so you guys can see if you're going to make your own. Pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, hemp hearts, nuts. There we go. And I'm going to put dates in here too. So these are I don't know, my fingers just don't want to open these things, or else they're like super strong bags. Oh, come on, seriously. Oh my gosh. Well, you know it's well sealed. Okay, I got it. I'm actually much better at opening jars. Here, let me just, never mind. I was going to pull the tab off, but we're going to turn into a real comedy show here, so I will quit while I'm ahead, maybe. Okay, so there's the dates. These are really good. These are the medjool dates, and they're whole, so they have the seed in them, and they're nice big ones. Look at the size of those. And so these are organic, and you can get these at the health food store as well. Like all the stuff, the nuts, and obviously the hemp hearts and all that kind of thing. So if you go to Healthy Habits, if you're in Port Alberni, or you can, you know, any health food store will have that. Actually, any grocery store will have that. I've got my other glasses on, the ones that keep sliding down. Yeah, so, you know, really nice if you can use your own your own dates, your own oats, super fresh and raw, and just a little awkward here trying to cut past the dish. I wanted to put this on the white plate. I'm just going to move it over a bit so I have more access, so that you can see better what's in here. I figured a white background would be really nice because sometimes I'm always wondering how well people can see with my little tiny workspace here. So one of the things you could do with the dates is you could put them in a food processor. You know, if you want them to be smaller, then you could do that. If you want them chopped up finer. And I have to say, I did get a new food processor. I'm really happy about that. So, you know, it's nice to show people how to do things by hand, but because I'm not a professional cook at all, I don't know what kind of a good example it is. Probably not a very good example at all. So, so I do have a food processor now that I'll be using quite a bit more. And then if you want to know how to professionally chop anything, you need to go to a professional cook. I'm just a certified herbalist. And speaking of which, yeah, it's been a little, you know, more of the, not that I don't hear it enough, but more of the lockdown stuff. And so, yeah, so really time to pay attention to taking care of yourself, you know. I think that for many people, I think that the hand washing thing, you know, people got a little bit complacent. Speaking for myself, I know I was much more terrified at the beginning than, you know, and then you're kind of like, okay, I know what to do. And then it's so funny, you know, when we know what to do, and then over time we forget that we know what to do. So yeah, so things are getting a little, just a little bit scarier out there. So it's really important to stay healthy and to do things like eating super healthy. Yesterday we made a fabulous, it turned out fabulous, the natural vapor rub, you know, sort of like a Vicks, but a little bit different. And I used the Candelilla wax instead of beeswax, and it turned out amazing, like the thickness and the viscosity. And I should have left some right here to show you guys, which I usually do, but I didn't, so I'll show you later. Anyway, it turned out amazing. So what we're going to do with this, I'm just checking to see. Oh, yes, we need the stuff. That's why I was going to do this here. Let's see. All my places. We need to add some maple syrup. We are going to add some maple syrup to this. And then what we'll do, like, you can just, if you want, you can just put this in a jar and use it up as is. You want to be aware that you need to use it up quicker than you would if you warm it or roast it. I don't really recommend roasting if you're wanting to, you know, the most health benefits and the most digestibility, because, you know, when you cook it and it's dry, it is harder to digest. So your dry granola can be a little harder to digest. So what my plan is just to put it on a parchment sheet, on a cookie sheet in the oven, and just warm it a bit so that the flavors meld, but not really roast it. I'm also going to add a little bit of vanilla to it because that's going to be super yummy. And if I can do a tiny dribble. How are you supposed to do that with vanilla? I have no idea. Okay, so we're going to give this a mix here and kind of break up those dates. The other thing you can add, you know, most people like raisins. These are actually currants. Currants, C-U-R-R-A-N-T-S. I actually prefer the currants over raisins because raisins, unless they're organic, they can, grapes absorb a lot of chemicals and toxins just in the nature of how they are. They just tend to take any kind of, if they are sprayed, they take any kind of spray, or if there's any toxin chemicals around, they just hang on to that and they absorb it. And so there's a book called Diet for a Poisoned Planet. And it lists all of the chemicals and toxins in all the foods, like everything from ketchup to even wine to different types of, crackers, cookies. It goes into, obviously, all of the pure foods, right? It goes into tomatoes and bananas and grapes and onions and all those different types of things, and tells you what foods have the most chemical composition and toxicity when they're not organic. And so, so the two most toxic things in the, I don't know. I mean, this book was written a while back, so we probably have a lot more toxic things right now than we did back then. But as far as an actual food, we don't have that many new foods. Grapes and peanut butter are the most concentrated chemical toxins. Like, they just hang on to that stuff. And so, and that's probably why there's so many peanut allergies, is because there's such a concentration of toxicity. And I think that people probably over history or time have eaten a lot more peanut butter than they have grapes. With the grapes, it just holds on to the toxicity. So you want to always, if you can, always get your grapes organic. And your peanut butter can be organic, which is better, because it wouldn't have anything added to the toxicity of the peanuts. So it would be less toxic, but it still has a, now I'm going to get mixed up, because there's a mold in, and I get mixed up between if this mold is in peanuts or in corn, but it's aspergillosis. And so that's if you're sensitive to those types of things, then that can create more of an allergic reaction. And I'm pretty sure it's in peanuts. I think it's in corn, or I could be wrong. But anyway, check it out. Check out the book, Diet for a Poisoned Planet. And I can't remember the author's name. I've had the book for like 25 years. But it's really interesting, because he goes through each of the foods, and he goes into what is the most important to buy organic. So like onions tend to repel toxicity and chemicals and all that kind of stuff. So if you're going to spend money on organic foods, don't do it on onions. So he'll go through the different ones and the different levels. He's actually put them into red light, green light, yellow light foods. And so the green light are the ones that, that you don't really need to spend your money. If you can afford it, it's better, of course, to buy organic. But if you have to be careful what you're spending, he actually tells you the most toxic things. And again, like I said, right down to different brands of mustard, ketchup, even wines, beers, that I'm sure that must be outdated, but all those different types of things. So if you're going to have your raisins are concentrated grapes, right? They're dried up, so they will concentrate. Raisins would be even more, could be even more toxic than the grape, because it's concentrated down. It all depends on whether the toxins that one might be allergic to, if they're in the liquid, like if they're fluid, whatever, water soluble, I think that's the word I'm looking for. So yeah. Okay, I'm gonna let everybody read that. Okay. Anyways, yeah, I'm getting distracted by the comments. Sorry about that. So anyway, and that's what's so fun about the Facebook Live, is that we get to share information with each other, and we get to learn, like yesterday I learned the most awesome thing, because we were using the silicone molds, and sometimes those silicone molds, like even though you wash them and you dry them and you clean them really well, they've got that sort of waxy film on them. And Jane found out the most amazing thing, and all I did was rinse it off with vinegar, and it just took all that waxiness off. So that was awesome. So it's great information to share. Yeah, so if you have a sensitivity, this is another thing that I was going to mention. If you have a sensitivity to an allergy to foods, or sensitivity to toxins or chemicals, peanuts and grapes would be things to stay away from that you may not know. You may not know that those are major triggers that have a variety of allergens, I guess you could say. You know, a lot of things in it, but things that might trigger your food allergies. So yeah, so just a little bit of information. You know, everybody's different, and so you need to do what's good for you. But that is a really excellent book, and like I said, I have had it for like 25 years. There's probably many updates and probably other books out there. And of course you can research the internet too. But it has a really nice chart on the different foods and toxicities in the foods. So the other thing we're going to do here, we're going to add, I don't know if we should add this. I want to add this, but I probably shouldn't. This is the coconut bacon that we made last week. I think we made it last week, and it's so yummy. And it's so good. And it actually, I'm going to taste it first. I am going to add it because I didn't add too much smoke to it. So I'm going to add a little bit. So if you wanted to, you know, you could just, I'm just going to add a little bit for that little surprise every once in a while in your granola. I know better than to eat and try and talk. So I'm having my usnea tea. So you can see usnea tea with a bay leaf in it. Very good for you. If you didn't know, bay leaves are amazing, especially if they're fresh, like not old bay leaves that have been, you know, in your cupboard for 10 years or even 5 years. But if you can get a bay leaf that's under 2 years old, it's amazing. Good for the respiratory tract. They're antiviral. They're antibacterial. They're just absolutely amazing medicine. So it's a good idea to stick a bay leaf in your tea every once in a while. Nice to have those medicines in your cupboard. Okay, so back to this. What I would do, it fell apart in my mouth, so I'm still have it tumbling around in there. Anyway, the coconut flakes. What you can do is you can do what we did and just don't add the smoke. What we added was Bragg's liquid aminos and maple syrup. So you could just use your maple syrup and the coconut if you wanted to, and make your coconut flakes maple coconut flakes. We'll have to do that sometime, but it's just too easy. You know, you can just do it on your own. But I ended up not using a lot of the liquid smoke in here, so they really do taste more like a snack than they do bacon. Although I have made them with more liquid smoke, and they taste like incredibly like bacon. So just so you know, you can look up that Facebook. It's, I don't know, about 2 weeks ago, and it's, oh my gosh, there's a spider coming down right in front of me. I don't know if you guys can see it. That is so funny. Did you come in from the outside to hide out for the winter? Yeah, no, you're gonna have to go outside. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change my game here, and I'm gonna put you in a jar. Did I cut you off your little string there? Okay, you sit in there until I'm finished. I'll take you outside. I'll put a plate on top. Make sure you can't crawl out. I don't think you can get out of there. Anyway, that was entertaining. You stay. I'll put a lid on you. Okay, and it is important to take the spiders outside because, you know, I don't know how they get in, but they get in and they're like, oh, this is awesome. You know, warmer, drier weather, and I don't know what they eat all winter though, because we don't really have any other bugs other than spiders, so I have no idea what their thoughts are, but they must think that it's a good place to hang out for the winter. Anyway, back to the show here. Where was I? Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, the coconut bits. Okay, so let's add, I have some organic cranberries. We always have so much time on Facebook Live. When you're live, anything can happen, and usually does, and it's just way too much fun. It's a good thing I don't take any of it seriously. Okay, so we're going to add some cranberries. I could have actually chopped those up because those are pretty big cranberries, but anyway, whatever you have that makes you happy. Chia seeds are a really good thing to add. A new spoon here. And so your chia is also really good. And again, this is something you want to make sure when you're adding the chia, make sure you don't get any moisture into there, because because your chia seeds will coagulate. If you didn't know that, they do. So yeah, so these guys are going to stick to the cranberries, which wasn't really the best timing for putting them together, but they're going to mix anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so doesn't that look amazing? This, granola here. And so, okay, so for the new people that came on, what we're doing is we're making a homemade raw granola using raw oats, fresh pressed raw oats, which is, they're actually rolled, they're not cut, which makes a big difference too. I'm not an expert on that, but I know that with these ones, they came from Vancouver Island Grain and Milling, and they are just rolled. They're not chopped or anything. So I'm not really sure what the difference is, but they're very, very fresh. I actually bought a bag of the oat groats. So that's the oat before it's flattened out into the flake. And so he also sells that, the oat groats, if you want to buy that. And I have a little hand grinder that you can put your oat groats in. It's like the seeds, and then you can just flatten them out yourself. So I have that too. It's really fun to be able to have it, and that bumps it up another freshness notch because it hasn't been exposed to air yet. Anyways, so then we added the pecans, walnuts, hemp hearts, dates, currants, cranberries, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, and so that's the granola mix. So like I said, you can just eat this straight up, but if you do and you have sensitivities, you might want to soak it first, even for 20 minutes. Like if you're adding your almond milk or water or whatever, just to soak it so that it's more easily digestible. Some people are fine with it raw like this, and that's good too. It all depends on how your digestion is. But I am going to just warm this in the oven, probably, about 275 or something like that, and just warm it and spread it around just so that it gets really well mixed. And so, yeah, so that's that. So I'm going to show you something else before we go that I thought was super cool. I had, okay, I don't want to take the lid off the spider. Okay, so we're gonna share the plate here. Okay, and I'm using a different plate. Kind of threw me off my plan here because I was going to use that, and now it's got a little spider in it, which is so cute. I have some coconut milk here that that I was going to put into a jar and make this for you, but now my jar has a spider. So plan B, we're always ready for plan B and making do. Okay, it's okay. It doesn't matter what kind of coconut milk you use for this recipe. Super easy and actually quite amazing. And like I said, this is supposed to be done in a jar, and I didn't bring a spare jar. So anyways, you'll get the gist of it. Oh, I got some oatmeal on there. Okay, got my little cloth here. Okay, don't want to get oatmeal in there. Okay, so what you're going to do to this is super easy. You're making your own coconut yogurt. Super crazy easy. You can take any kind of acidophilus probiotic that you happen to have, and I happen to have these Natural Factors. I'm not advertising for them, but this is what I happen to have. And take your probiotic capsule and put it in with your coconut milk, or sorry, yes, it is coconut milk, but it's the canned, okay? This is not, I don't think this would work with a, like a coconut milk that's pourable like a cereal. That's more of a cream, even though it's called coconut milk. It is in the can. So you have to have a can. Put your probiotic capsule in there, 1 capsule per can. And you just simply mix it up, get it in there. And like I said, this is supposed to happen in a jar, except that now we have a spider in the jar. So I'm not going to use the jar. So we're just going to mix this really well. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and get a jar and use my little, where's my little thing here? I had the little thing. Anyway, it's one of those little, you know, oh my God, whisker. It's a whisk. It's a whisk. So you would use a whisk, and you would whisk her up. So, oh my gosh, I'm here. The spider really threw me off. That's too funny. Anyway, that is pretty much what you're going to do. I'll just set that there. Hope that doesn't fall. Super simple. You're going to whisk this with your whisker and put it into a jar and just let it sit at room temperature, and check on it the next day, because it's going to depend on the temperature of your house, how fast it's going to turn into yogurt. So check it the next day. I mean, obviously cover it, put it in a jar, cover it, check on it in the morning, and we'll just watch and see how it goes. I have not done this before, and that's what's so fun about this Facebook Live, is that I'm all in for experimenting, and you guys write in your comments, and when you want me to try something new, I'm more than happy to try it so that I can make mistakes, and then we can all learn from my mistakes, hopefully. Anyway, that's the coconut yogurt. So we'll check on that tomorrow. We'll see how it is. I'll get it in the jar. I'll get the spider outside, and we will see you guys tomorrow morning. So yeah, so have a really good day. Try and stay warm and dry, and stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 11. Check out my YouTube, my Instagram, and subscribe. Have a great day.